The moment that can't be thought. Undoing the illusion of time. Before thought. I think there is only the present. That's how the mind smuggles itself into eternity. It makes now into a concept instead of an awareness. It's like saying, I believe in silence. The moment you say it, you've already made noise. Thought tries to hold the present like water in a fist and ends up with nothing but tension. Try this. Close your eyes and tell yourself not to think. Watch how quickly thought rushes in to comment on the silence. That's the trap. The commentator isn't in the present. It's the past pretending to still be useful. Time doesn't begin on the clock. It begins the instant the mind says, I think. Let all things be exactly as they are. This isn't a suggestion. It's the key. Because letting ends resistance, and resistance is the fuel of time. When you let things be, traffic lights turn red and you breathe instead of curse. The phone dies mid-call and you laugh instead of panic. Letting doesn't mean liking what happens. It means you stop attacking what is. When you resist, the body tenses, the mind divides, and the present fractures into how it should have been. It's like standing before a mirror and trying to polish your reflection. All motion, no improvement. The moment the hand withdraws, the image becomes clear on its own. The illusion of time isn't in clocks. It's in commentary. A clock doesn't make time. Thought does. Every I wish and if only is another tick. Example, someone compliments you. Before you can even feel it, thought says, I don't deserve that. Now you're in the past again. The mind narrates what's happening, and the narration is time. Imagine a pond. When the water is still, sky and trees reflect perfectly. Drop one pebble of judgment, this shouldn't be happening, and ripples distort everything. When judgment ceases, reflection returns to still water. Why the ego needs time. The ego doesn't fear time. It requires it. Without before and after, it can't exist. It says, I'll be happy when, or I used to be better. That's how it stays alive, by borrowing minutes from an imaginary calendar. Try doing nothing for 30 seconds. Notice how quickly it asks, is this working? That's time disguised as curiosity. The ego doesn't want presence, it wants progress. It survives by convincing you that peace is just one more improvement away. But presence doesn't evolve, it is. True presence is remembered, not discovered. Presence isn't something you find, it's what remains when commentary stops. It's the moment between inhaling and naming it a breath. It's the pause before laughter, before the story comes rushing in to explain why it's funny. The ego wants to find the present as if it were lost treasure. But presence is the ocean that was never divided by waves. You don't shrink the timeline. You dissolve it by refusing to measure. The present can't be reached because you never left it. The holy equation. Time equals thought. Presence equals absence of thought. That means, I think there is only the present, cancels itself out like fire writing on water. When you think, the present disappears. When you let, it reappears, but not because it returns. It was never gone. The moment you stop polishing reality, it shines. The ego calls that surrender. The spirit calls it sanity. Letting all things be exactly as they are is how still water remembers it was never disturbed. Submitted for your approval, a traveler who set out to find the present and discovered it was never missing. A man who spent his life polishing mirrors, chasing silence and arguing with clocks, only to find that the stillness he sought was the one watching him all along. He learned that time was not a river to cross, but a thought to release. And that reality, when left unpolished, reflects the face of eternity. You'll find him now, and always, residing just beyond the second hand, in a quiet place known simply as the Twilight Zone.